There. This is the Christmas card from the Fort Worth ISD to us, but they're our kids at Nash Elementary. Are they going to be with us today at lunch?
Not Nash, De Zavala.
De Zavala, okay.
We alternate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are those both the two adopted schools for?
Well, De Zavala was adopted by MOC.
Oh,
we did
okay,
that. We've been doing them
yes,
for a long time. De
yes.
Zavala and I am Terrell.
Yes.
Elementary.
Yes.
It's off, Bill.
But he wants you to turn it on. We're being video
Thank you.
streamed today, so keep that in mind. Are there any public comments? Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to make a comment? If not, we'll move on to item number 3, consideration and approval of a resolution honoring the memory of former board member Tom Demarest.
Mrs. Appleman and board members, the staff. You got the master control over there. We have recommended for the board's approval a resolution in honor of one of our past board members, Mr. Tom Demarest. Mrs. Vandergriff, Dr. Lace, Dr. Carrier, and I were able to attend the service and visit with the family and to express our condolences on behalf of all of us. But we thought it would be nice for the board to send this written resolution to his family. And it says, in recognition of Thomas M. Demarest, Jr., and his life of service to the community, and especially his service on the Board of Trustees of Tarrant County College from 1989 until 2002, on behalf of the entire college community, the Board of Trustees expresses its appreciation for Mr. Demarest and extends its condolences to the family. Louise Appleman, President.
Motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Vandergrift, second by Mrs. Winnett. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
This will be presented after you sign it, Mrs. Appleman, in a very nice frame, and we'll deliver it to the family. Mrs. Vandergrift, would you like to deliver it?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Okay, very good. We'll provide that to you.
Item number 4, items to be removed from the consent agenda, which follows under number 5. If not, motion to approve the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Vandergrift, second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Morrison. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any against? Motion to approve the consent agenda approved unanimously.
So moved.
It's been completed. Thank you. All right, now we will move into the board workshop.
I can be gone.
Thank you, Mrs. Hadley.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Lace.
Thank you, Mrs. Appleman. You'll remember that at the last meeting, we gave you a very, very heavy tote bag full of proposals. We had 11 firms respond to the request for proposals, search firms to help the board in the search for a new chancellor. You were asked to grade those proposals and okay, could we dim the lights a little? Thank you very much. Here is the results of the grading. We had 5 responses from trustees grading all 11 of the search firms. You see the total number of points. Each firm was graded 1 to 10 on 10 different criteria. You see the average, and you see the rank. So the number 1 ranked firm was Gold Hill, and I do have hard copies of these for you, by the way. With second place was ERCS, third Academic Search, and then fourth, a little further down, was ACCT. It seemed to me in looking like these that there was a fairly clear delineation in the top 4. Then you have to go down pretty far before you get to number 5. So the issue before you is to take the next step, and it's up to you what that might be. You are welcome to, of course, discuss any or all of the proposals made to you with an eye toward possibly inviting 2 or more firms to come after the break and be interviewed by the board. So really, Mrs. Applin, the floor is open for your discussion. And we do have Dr. Ricardo Coronado, Associate Vice Chancellor for Human Resources. Mr. Mark McMillan, our Director of Purchasing, is here in case any of us are needed.
Would you 2 gentlemen please come to the front of the rooms? Ricardo. What is the pleasure of the board?
Are you asking in terms of who we'd like to interview?
Yes, if you want to interview the top 4, the top 2, the top 3, what, Dr. Lace, could we have the hard copy?
Sure.
So we can look at the numbers and see where the breaks are and what,
There's a second page on the hard copy. What I did just to see what would happen was I threw out the top score and the bottom score on each of the vendors, and we'll show you that result.
the top voting score?
For each vendor, I eliminated the bottom and the top to see if an abnormally high or an abnormally low had skewered the results. And as you could see, it came out exactly the same.
That's interesting. So we start with 81 points and then drop to 77, then to 72, then to 66. Is that on the top 4?
Yes.
So there's quite a, 4 points between the top 2.
In terms of bringing these groups into interview, I would like to see the top 4, because in reading the analysis and their submissions, clearly there's some strengths. Each group has a different strength, and I think we need to see them in person to see where the whole board will come to terms on selecting, a single group.
This has been our experience in the past with search firms, that the top 3, 4 are brought in for interviews because we, like you, feel it's very important to have face-to-face contact with the people.
Other comments?
I agree with Ms. Vandergriff. I would like to interview the top 4.
Dr. Morrison?
I will abide with the board's decision.
Do you have a time frame in mind, Mrs. Applin? Our January meeting of the board is what date? It is the third Thursday. The 21st. So I don't know whether you would want to do this in conjunction with the January meeting of the board. It would be pretty time-consuming, obviously. We could make arrangements to have all of them in on the same day. It doesn't necessarily need to be a weekday. It could be Saturday at the pleasure of the board.
Could we possibly, Madam President, hold a meeting on its own to do this? I mean, I would like to maybe deal with the interviews separate from a board meeting or anything else.
Personally, I think that would be a good idea because you're looking at probably 4 hours. And to combine that with the regular January board meeting would be asking a lot.
I concur with Ms. Winnett, but I also have another question in regards to if indeed we select a date. I think it would be preferable if we could have the entire board. And then second to that, in the event that one of these groups chooses not to interview, would we just go to the next one down?
Not necessarily. You could look at the scores and say, well, we wanted the top 4, but if one drops out, we'll do the top 3. You don't necessarily need to keep going down the ladder. And staff would be happy, Mrs. Appleman, to poll the board to try to come up with some prospective dates in January.
I'm trying to look through my notes, but I think I might. Are any of the top 4 Texas firms? One of them is, yeah, academic search.
Also, I think ERCS is. That is the group of which Dr. John Anthony, the founding Chancellor of Collin Community College, is a principal. And we have dealt with that firm before.
And academic search is
Yeah,
Dr. Pickleman.
And actually, I saw that as a negative.
To have a Texas firm?
No, to have a firm that we've dealt with extensively before.
Which firm is that?
ERCS.
Oh. I said I saw that as a negative. And because, well, I just saw it as a negative.
Okay. So we would need a motion and a vote to ask staff to bring in these 4 firms at a date to be decided on by the board.
Well, I have a suggestion that we consider, because all 4 of them may decide they do not choose to proceed. Something might happen between now and then that they decide that they don't choose to proceed. And so the 5th firm is not that far distance below the 4th one.
It's a 6-point difference.
It's a 6
We
point
could certainly,
difference.
if the board wishes, in the event one of the top 4 drops out, we could ask the number 5 firm to step in, certainly.
And they are a Texas firm also. Let me tell you one of my concerns, and I did say I would abide by what the board decides, and I will do that. But let me just share. A concern is that the thought process of the recruiters should not be so narrow in that they deal strictly with community college researchers. I understand that that was put into our requirements, that they had to have had previous community college experience. But I think it's a disadvantage if they've only had community college experience. So, I actually would like to add Alan Austin
We can
to
certainly
be
do that.
invited to come, since they're coming at their own expense. And if they choose to come, then fine. If they don't choose to come, then that's fine too. They are coming to the first meeting at their own expense, right?
They're coming to all meetings at their own expense.
Well, no, that's not really true.
Now, after a firm is hired,
Right.
then,
After
yeah,
they're hired, they'll
then the
be
clock
coming at
starts
our
ticking.
expense.
But up to then, it's on
Right.
their own nickel.
Would you like to make a motion to that effect, Dr. Morrison?
Right. So moved that we invite the
The top.
firms that have been rated 1 through 5 to make a presentation before the board.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion by Dr. Morrison to invite the top 5 firms, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And so now you get to get on the phone or email.
Mr. Cumby is going to get on the
Oh,
phone.
Mr. Cumby, I forget about Mr. Cumby. He's hiding back there.
We will do that before the break so that we may contact
Yes,
you
get it on our calendars.
during the break and let you then contact your fellow board members to try to set up something for as soon as possible after the new year.
Okay, I have a couple of suggestions. I would like it on a Saturday. I would not like it on a playoff Saturday. And if we do it during the week, then I suggest that we probably will need 2 meetings. So I'm okay after 5 o'clock in the evenings, but then I think we should be aware that we probably need to plan 2 sessions if we do evening sessions. And so if you would poll the board with those parameters in mind, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Now, if we would invite 5, if we have 4 or perhaps only 3, then it might require only 1 meeting.
Right.
It would, of course, depend on how many we have want to come in and talk to you.
And do we want to set a time limit for the meeting?
We can do that, can we not,
For the
Mark?
presentation.
We can keep it
I
to
think you can
an
do
hour,
that.
or that's up to you.
And what are we going to do? Are we going to talk to them? Or are we just going to look at them, see how good they look?
I think
mean, what are
probably,
we gonna do?
and, you know, do a breathalyzer maybe. No, I think that if you want us to, we will certainly be glad to prepare some questions that you might ask them. We would make sure you have copies of all 5 proposals. You would go through those and pick out things in the proposals you would like to ask about, but it will be a lot of give and take.
And you know, Bill, what I'm really more interested in than what they've done in the past is really what they know about us and how they want to help us with where we are right now, Tarrant County College. That's really what I really want to know. And the proposals didn't really speak to that. You know, they talked about process and all that. And any one of these firms could have done a credible job of accumulating the paperwork on candidates. But I'm really more interested in them honing in on our particular situation. This is very specialized. This is not just a run-of-the-mill procedure. So I'm really more interested in what they would see, what they know about our college, our needs, and what they would do to help us move through the process
Very
in a
good.
civilized manner.
And Bill, what I would like to see, is it possible to get information from those colleges they have helped to find out how satisfied those colleges have been with?
I will ask Mr. McMillan, can we get references prior to? All right, we will do that.
Okay, I would like to see that.
In that same vein, you know, it's not a bad idea to check references before you invite them to come.
What we would, well, we've already had a vote, so
Well, okay.
that would be a little.
We can do that, but
I mean, normally in employment process, you don't interview people till you at least know what their references are like. Not what they say they're like, but what their references say they're like.
And Dr. Lace, we could possibly get those references in advance to the meeting for you?
Yes.
I think that's the intention. We would certainly do that.
Yes,
I
thank
think
you.
that'd be helpful.
Thank you.
Mr. McMillan has volunteered to do that on Christmas Day.
good way to spend your day. Ms. Vandergrift, do you have some comments or
I'm
suggestions?
comfortable with everything.
Other thoughts? Thank you.
Okay, we have our marching orders.
All of you. And that concludes the business of the meeting. So we are adjourned. We have a special meeting this afternoon at 2 at the Trinity River campus. And then our next regular meeting is Thursday, January 21st at 6 here at the May Owen. Thank you. We are adjourned.